In this video, I promise you, I'm going to show you the most disturbing thing I've filmed in nature in my entire life. And I need to give some context to that because I'm not just a normal person when it comes to sort of nature things. Over 20 years ago, I started doing photography with a little 35mm, and I actually was a semi-professional wildlife photographer for a few years, and I still love doing it. And now, when I do macro stuff, I'm using things like this. This is a well-developed and expensive macro setup. Thankfully, I also use it for making YouTube videos, so it's a great hand-in-hand thing. And in all of those years, I have seen some messed up things. I've seen wasps going into a moth trap at night, as in one that doesn't kill moths, you just catch them, and bite the wings off of moths, then ball their bodies into little balls and then carry them away to use them as food. Now, a lot of people do not like wasps, and I understand that, and I do not want to add on to this because this does involve a wasp. Wasps are really important. Don't just kill them for no apparent reason. Then they're there to control the pests, they help pollinate, they actually are a very useful insect. Unfortunately with that, they are aggressive, mean-spirited, although they're amazing animals. They're like one of the most amazing animals close up, and that's the thing about macro photography that I've always loved, is that, and my Spicy's Hidden World videos, which is my wildlife videos, they're like the most amazing little machines when you look at them close up, but their behaviour is of an utter annoying person. Okay, so I've got the video on my phone here. I'm going to play it in portrait over here because that's the way it was filmed. To give context, me and Reno, my other half, we'd gone for a walk to the beach, come back round, we sat at a bench, and I'm sat at this bench for a good 5 minutes, and I noticed this wasp doing something, and it wasn't until I looked closer that I realised what was going on. Okay, so let's play now. Okay, so you can see there's a wasp, and it appears to be what is a beetle that's dead and hollowed out, but then you notice its legs moving around. It's not dead. This beetle is still alive and has had its entire organs eaten out by this wasp and other wasps from its home, I'm sure. You can see it's just gnawing away in there. And I flipped it over. This is a female stag beetle. It is still alive at this exact point. As I say, when you do nature photography, you get to see some messed up stuff, but that on a visceral level was just messed up. Now, why is the wasp doing this? The wasps need meat, normally dead insects, to feed to their larvae so their larvae can grow. They also collect pollen and nectar and things like that, but there is a time when they go for meat. You also notice them on your fences, like nibbling out little strips. That's because they chew that up and turn that into the nest. It's like paper mache. And I actually have a video of breaking apart a wasp's nest, which I'll link in the comments with a couple of other videos you might find interesting if you like this video. How is it that this beetle's still alive? Is that not just sort of death throes or something? No. I noticed a couple of other weird things about it. On a stag beetle, they have a big section of arm here, or leg, and another big section here, and then below that they have lots of little bobbles on a little stringy, last fingery looking arm. And it's what they claw onto things with, because they've got like 2 claws on the end. Well, the wasps had quite clearly snipped those off, snipped off the other legs to mobilise it, and they've been harvesting its insides. The reason it hasn't died yet is to do with the biology of that insect. Well, all insects generally, because you may be aware of the zombie bug, which was a maybug, or also known as a cockchafer. I have an entire video on my Spicy's Hidden World about the cockchafer, because so many people get confused about them. And I also have one on the stag beetle itself. You know, the stag beetle is normally known for being males with huge antlers, they call them, but they're like mandibles. The females have just very small ones. So you can see those videos if you want some extra context. But yeah, as I was saying, the inside, the back end of the beetle inside, a lot of it's fat. It's where it stores all its fat. There are some heart chambers and things back there, and there's some intestinal stuff, but a lot of its sort of living organs is up in the next section of the body, and its brain and everything of what it has is in the next section along. So basically, they are like machines that just keep going until that system gets turned off. And if you eat out the inside of it, it's still going to keep going. Which is going back to what I was saying before about the zombie bug. You may have seen a video on that's just walking along and its entire back's been eaten out. It's the same deal. It might have been a bird, it could have been a hedgehog, it could have been a bat that did it, but it would have eaten out the fat, all the decent food in it, out the back of it, and the rest of its body just doesn't know that's happened yet. Exactly. And it'll just keep going until it runs out of energy or one of the systems stops working or it dries out or something, but they are like little machines that just keep going. And that's one of the reasons I love insects. That's why they're so interesting, because they're tiny, they're amazing when you look at them close up. If you look at a patch of grass this big, you might find 1,000 insects in that. All right, bigger ones are normally the more interesting ones, but you can see why they're so interesting. But nature can be very metal. And that is just a mild example of the stuff that's on the cutting room floors from a lot of the nature documentaries you see that get filmed, because my God, some of the stuff that happens is messed up. But that's nature. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. I'm just a hollow bug. Oh yeah, right. So there you go, a little bit different to my normal stuff, but there, generally, that disturbed me. Oh, what did I do after the video? I removed the stag beetle's head. I put it back where it was so the wasps can continue doing its job, but that stag beetle, which could never live, is not living properly at that point, isn't suffering. Whether they feel pain, that's a very different matter, but if it's a possibility, I don't think I'd want to go through that existence as an end. So yeah, I think I was doing the nicer thing for it. I mean, it's not like it was ever going to reproduce. It was all gone. It's eaten, it's in the wasp's nest. As I say, if you found this video interesting, look in the comments, I've pinned a comment and I'll put it in the description as well. And at the end of the video, there'll be 3 videos related to this in some way that I think you will find interesting. Normally no one gets to see them because I normally have motorcycle related videos on this channel and the wildlife stuff got lost. If you enjoyed this video, or found it interesting, or disturbing, or horrifying, leave a like, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to see some more content from me, and if you want to help support this channel, you can do that through Patreon, links in the description. And lastly, in the comments, if you've ever seen anything like this, leave your story down there. Bye-bye.